I mean, what is the state doing wanting to be involved with our children? It's totally creepy. It's totally weird. And it's my taste. It's not discrimination. It's my taste that I'm sick of having a weird, creepy man with big hands, with liver spots all over them, with a bunch of people fawning, combing their hair like it's Marilyn Monroe. I'm worried about the elite, what they put on pedestals. I mean, it's just bizarre. Like, why didn't they get a man that looked like a woman and was at least attractive is what I'm getting at. Why was it something ugly? Why do they want to... there's something there. It's twisted. I think it's more than just a distraction.
Alex, but what you're saying, ugly, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder. You're being very, very negative here and offensive.
And bigoted. I'm saying bigoted. I don't like old men in drag.
Bigoted.
Okay. Yeah.
So bigoted. You know, you used to be able to raise your children as per your values and your morality. Now that's some type of crime, I gather. And you're teaching hate if you don't teach this all-encompassing tolerance that we're all supposed to have. Your own ethics and morality has no place in your child's life. It's to be your child's to be raised by what society deems acceptable now. And if it's Bruce Jenner in a dress with makeup on his face, you have no right telling your kids that that isn't completely fine, or you're just teaching hate.
Well, I just wonder what future we're going to have as a country. I mean, China, they chain their kids up by the millions, literally, when they go to work at the big factories. There's video and newscasts that show this. If you're a listener and don't believe it, just type in China, children chained during work. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. It's terrible, but suicide nets, drugging of the workers, 15-hour work days. How will we compete with something like that when our gross domestic product is going to be men learning how to put dresses on?
Yeah, you look back and again, I'll be criticized for waxing fantastic about the good old days. But I don't know, when you look back and look at our achievements in the space program, look at our achievements when, we fought in those good wars, and the amazing bravery of our soldiers and the victories we've had, all the innovation that has come out of this country and the amazing technology that we have available to us because of those brilliant minds and the
That's
work
it.
ethic.
We used to innovate and lead the world. Now, yes. I mean, our flag is not a guy in a dress. I mean, it just isn't the flag of a country.
We're not seeing any of that anymore. I don't know what we're doing as a country anymore. We have to hitch rides to a space station that we paid a hell of a lot into.
On Russian rockets.
On Russian rockets, because we don't have a program to bring our own astronauts up there anymore. That's disgraceful. And for anyone that says, well, we got our own problems down here, if you look at all the innovations that came from the American space program and things that we use today, the amazing technologies we have that came from the space program,
all of it.
It's very put the blinders on to think that it's just, let's go up there and prove we're big shots. We're not doing this anymore, and it's showing in our society and in the American civilization.
That's it. I mean, I'm tolerant. I'm open. In fact, I hate even having to say that because, quite frankly, I'm just not paying attention to all this weirdness. It wants to force its infantile, weird mindset into my life, and then it criticizes any innovation, any pro-human. I think I've got the answer. We're decadent. I don't mean decadent drinking a beer and watch a football game, folks. I mean decadent in that we don't appreciate what we've got. We're spoiled brats. I'm a spoiled brat compared to my dad. My kids are somewhat spoiled compared to me, and my kids are pretty good compared to other ones. And I just realized that we've had it good so long because of the freedom we had in this country that we've now gone into a real decadent cycle. Decadent in Latin means to sink in slowly, like quicksand. And my God, I mean, it's not the cliche of each generation gets dumber. I don't believe that. But because of the smartphones, the culture, the short attention span, the IQs are dropping, I really think we're going to hit rock bottom very soon, Anthony, and I'm worried about what's going to happen when we do. I mean, imagine if we have another Great Depression with the majority of people not knowing how to take care of themselves, what it will look like with 100 million people on food assistance, Anthony.
I couldn't imagine, even years ago, I would bring up I couldn't imagine what American refugees would look like, streaming over some border to find some kind of safety or food or water, depending on what the emergency was here. I just couldn't imagine a line of people complaining that their heels hurt or that their suit was dirty, or just, we don't have this instinct to survive and to innovate and to kind of adapt and overcome a bad time. Like yes, the Depression, amazing what people had to do with families to just live in that time. I cannot see these soft American people that we see today actually living through something like that.
And I want to be clear. I don't claim to be some tough guy. I mean, my dad's dad and my mom's dad were both Army Air Corps guys in World War II. They were both really hardworking. They didn't act like tough guys, but they were tough guys. And my dad's dad could do electrical, fix the combine, fix the well. Then he could go be in, county government on top of that and help poor people. And it was just a really cool, manly man. And now I think back to images of my dad's dad, and I look at my dad and then me, and I can see the degeneration from him, and I think, oh, my God. And so much of it is just the way the modern world has removed us from the land, so we're artificial. And I think so many of the people in the establishment, Anthony, are even more artificial than you and I have gotten. So we at least can see what we've become. These people look at us that want to be self-sufficient, that want to be a little manly, and they think we're the problem. They don't get that that's what built the civilization. We see the ghost of what we were and wish we were better. They see it and think it's a scary ghost.
Right. I don't consider myself a tough guy either. I mean, but I think the goal of people that came before us in this country was to make it a little easier for the next generation, but not so easy to that where literally men cannot change a flat tire anymore. It's just, they can't do it. And that's one of the most simple things that a man is supposed to be able to do. I think, again, some of the technologies that we've gotten, and of course, this little gadget has changed the way we live as a society. And I think we're hooting and hollering about how great it is, but we aren't looking in the future to see how it's affecting us as people and how we don't really face-to-face talk to each other anymore. If something was important to you and you wanted to learn more about it, you really had to work to go somewhere to find that information or learn how to do something. Now it's intertwined with, well, I'm kind of interested in this, but also, look, there's a man dressed like a woman. We're back to that again. It's distracting.
Well, this is a great talk. You just said it. We now have access to more information than anybody ever did before at our fingertips, every library of the world, and now we don't appreciate it because there's so much of it. It's that paradox. So in your gut, is it going to get a lot worse before it gets better, and are we going to make it as a species?
I am so cynical when I see what's happening. I think it will get a lot worse before it gets better, if it gets better. I think we're on this we're looking at a time in history where technology, such as the smartphones, changes civilization. Like those crossroads at like, wow, all right, we have air travel. Air travel changed civilization as we know it. This is doing that. But we don't know where it's going to take us. But I guarantee you, we are not seeing the good old days anymore. We'll just have to hope the future brings something that's a little better than what I'm seeing right now.
Anthony, I got to have you back on more because I'm not just saying this kissing your butt. You've really helped me just bouncing back and forth, crystallize so much of what I've been trying to get at. I just, as a guy that's built a company, a father, 3 children, both sides of my family have been somewhat successful in business, whatever, just try to be a good guy, try to build a better world, try to make it better for my kids. Sure. I see how trying to do everything for my kids has made them kind of spoiled, so now I'm kind of reversing that. But then I look at the whole society, and I think it's just that we have angst wanting to let folks know and warn people that we are at a fork in the road, that we kind of are choosing our own adventure right now, and that some of these roads lead somewhere really scary. That's a normal instinct to want to know how the world works, to want to be involved, to want to have your own freedom, to want to stop special interests that are totalitarian. And they've conditioned the public that that's bad or evil to have a survival instinct. And so I think really the world split into two different groups of people, or three different. Those that want to build a better world, want to know how it works, want to inform others, those that are lazy and don't care, and those that actually know what's going on but want to feed on the giant dumb mass. And so I think the battle is in between those three groups. And sometimes I think the giant mass of dumbed-down idiots is more dangerous than even the elite, because if you study history, giant herds of dumbed-down people are incredibly dangerous and are uncontrollable. I think the establishment, with their social engineering and stuff, has taken the easiest path, but I think down the road it's the worst path.
We have absolutely. You just have to glance back through history. You don't even have to go very far to see a dumbed-down public that is a bit desperate is extremely dangerous to the entire world. And I think that's what we're seeing. As far as information goes, it's very difficult to weed out accurate information these days. And I think the powers that be enjoy that. They take advantage of it and love it. The distractions that are available when you're going to look for information is akin to try sitting in a library and studying something while there's clowns juggling and music playing and talking and freak shows going on. It would be very difficult. But that's virtually what we're doing. It's very hard to stay. How many times have you tried to look something up and gone off on a tangent because other links are popping up, or somebody calls you or texts you with something? It's very hard to concentrate.
Sure, our brains have been rewired. I mean, our brains have been rewired.
Yes,
yeah,
rewired, and the lack of attention span that we have today, the lack of just an interest in any one thing. We have to be all over the place 24 hours a day instead of really just settling in and looking at something, studying it, becoming knowledgeable about a subject. That's gone. It's gone.
Mr. Cumia, that's been a very informative interview, very thought-provoking.
I love it, Alex.
Tell folks, again, when your different podcasts and radio shows air, how folks find those.
It's easy. Just go to anthonycumia.com. We're live every day, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. On the East Coast. And again, open, honest, funny, provocative, just free. It's freedom. Finally able to voice opinions, and yeah, people will get mad, but at least I don't have to worry that my boss is going to throw me out the door.
Well, that's what is going to be the great equalizer, and that's why they want to censor the web and shut us down now, because people have gotten a taste for real freedom, which isn't left or right. It's just common sense, and people are going, wait, you mean there's shows that aren't left or right? They're just common sense, and then they're interactive, they resonate with it, and it's really part of the big battle that we're having right now. Thank you so much for the time.